The Wheel of the Year is an ancient calendar that marks the cycle of the seasons, ever turning from autumn, winter, spring and summer. In this video, I'm going to tell you what we know about the Wheel of the Year, where it comes from, and how you as a 21st century person can align yourself with the rhythm of nature by walking with the Wheel of the Year. Hi, welcome to Reroute Your Life. I'm Emma Jane. I'm a spiritual growth coach and author of Walking the Wheel of the Year. And I'm super excited to tell you about the Wheel of the Year. So let's get straight into it, further ado. So the Wheel of the Year is this calendar of the seasons, and it's in the shape of a wheel, as you can see here. And on that wheel, there are 8 points, 8 festivals that celebrate this turning of the wheel, the turning of the year. And it's a very, very ancient calendar that has been handed down to us through thousands of years of time. This calendar actually predates the modern linear calendar that we have today. And it's more in flow with nature's seasons. The calendar itself reflects these pauses during the transition from season to season. And it was practiced and celebrated for tens of thousands of years. Communities used to live and plan in flow with nature. And they celebrated each season in turn, following this natural rhythm of the planet Earth. And it's something we're really separate from today. Yet the Wheel of the Year is a calendar that we can use as modern 21st century people to come back into connection with the energy of the Earth. There are 8 celebrations of the Wheel of the Year, starting with Samhain, the 31st of October, which is the Celtic understanding of the end of the wheel, or the end of the year and the beginning of the new. So a little bit like our New Year's. Yet for the Celts, this was a very different celebration. This celebration was based on celebrating those that had gone before, their ancestors, people that had passed on throughout the year. And it's where the roots of our modern day Halloween celebrations come from. The wheel then turns to Yule. At Yule, this is where we have the roots of our modern day celebration of Christmas. And this is the winter solstice, a very important time for our ancestors, our Nordic and Celtic ancestors, because here was the birth of the summer sun. It was the longest night, the shortest day, and it must have been very difficult for them, thinking and wondering, is life going to return? Is food going to come back? And it's here where we start to see the light that we celebrate with our Christmas today. And on the 21st, 20th or 22nd, depending on when the winter solstice falls, that is when the sun is born again, and we start from that point in time to edge a little bit more and more light every single day until we reach the sun. The wheel turns again and it comes to Imbolc, the 2nd of February, and this is the first of the fertility festivals in the wheel. And this is the festival that celebrates the land coming alive. So it's not a festival where you see everything coming out like later spring. This is where you start to see the buds just opening or the shoots just poking through the ground. It's the time where the land is awakening. Then the wheel turns to March and it turns to Ostara, which is the spring equinox. So this is an amazing time in the solar calendar where you have this equal balance of day and night. It's very much a lunar and solar festival. It's a fantastic point to pause within our lives and to check between the seasons as we're shifting from the dark time to the light time. And it was celebrated both by our Celtic ancestors and by our Nordic ancestors too. Ostara is the time where the land comes alive. You're getting more greenery, but it's the time where the animals come alive. If you look around this time, around the 20th, 21st, 22nd of March, it's where the birds are coming back. There's lambs being born. This is the time where life is really coming back to the land, not just in the plants, but in the beasts as well. So then the wheel turns again and we come to Beltane. Now, Beltane is in May. It's the end of April, beginning of May. And this again is a fertility festival. So we have Imbolc, Ostara and Beltane as a fertility festival, but this is the fertility for humankind. And it's celebrated all over the world till today. It's where you get the celebration of Midsummer in Sweden. It's where you get May Day in Britain. And yes, that's the time where we now dance around the maypole, which is still rooted in this ancient calendar tradition coming from our ancestors back in time. After Beltane, the wheel turns to the summer solstice in June. We also call this Litha. And this is the time where the sun that was born at Yule has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. and it's now at its maximum point, a journey. You get the longest day and the shortest night at the summer solstice, and it is the day after the summer solstice when the sun is born. That is the birth of the winter sun. So it's the equal opposite of the summer sun being born at the winter solstice. As the sun beats down on the land, the wheel turns again, and we get to Lammas, which is around about the 1st of August. And this is the first of the harvest festivals in the wheel. And at Lammas, this is the very first harvest. It's where the corn got cut down. And if you look into your own culture, into your own traditions, you'll see there's many different traditions connected to celebrating this very first harvest. It was so important for our ancestors. And even though we're separate from it today, it's super important for our lives too. And at Lammas, we start to come together as a community to work together to bring in the harvest. And that's still something we can mirror today within our own lives. But as the wheel turns, we are starting to get to the colder time of the year. There's less light, things are starting to darken. The plants have gone through their journey and they're now producing seed. And that brings us to the autumn equinox, also known as Mabon, around about the 20th, 21st, 22nd of September, depending on which year it is. And again, the autumn equinox, like the spring equinox, is a balance of this dark and light. It's a balance of day and night. Now, I tend to call this time of year the sweet harvest, because this is the time where you really start to gather the fruit in from the land, and you're preserving that sweetness. So you have something to bring sweetness to your life throughout the winter and throughout the darker half of the year. And that, of course, brings us to the end of our journey and the beginning of the next, as the wheel turns back to Samhain on the 31st of October. So you can see that each one of these festivals marks this point of transition within the wheel. And as modern people, we can align our lives with this rhythm by using the festivals and celebrating the festivals, not only to honour nature, but also to take this chance to reflect and have a look at what is important in our life. We can use these calendar to allow us to mirror our personal growth and our spiritual growth. One of the things that I love about walking with the Wheel of the Year over the many years that I've been doing this and practicing seasonal spirituality is the fact that the Wheel of the Year allows me to be comfortable with the constant in life, one of the major constants in life, which is change. When you walk with nature and you flow with the seasons, you start to see patterns within the growth cycle, within nature and within yourself. You start to find nature and the earth energy is actually your teacher, and you can connect with that in a deep and powerful way. And today we are very separate from nature, but by aligning ourselves with the Wheel of the Year, we can fall back into this natural rhythm. And our body knows this, blood, skin and bone. It's in our DNA. Our ancestors celebrated this, but it's not just about ancestors. We're human beings and part of nature on the planet. So we know this in our blood, skin and bone. And by aligning with that, it allows us to slow down at the time where we need to slow down in the winter, and it allows us to speed up and be active in the spring. And for me, it gives this balance and peace in your life. It gives a constant and it gives a root, a connection to the planet that I'm walking on, that I'm living in, and I am lucky enough to experience. So connecting with the Wheel of the Year is not a new way of approaching spirituality. It's actually a very old way of spirituality. And today it's commonly practiced by pagans, and under paganism you can think of druids or witches or shamans, asexual druids. I said that already. There's many people that celebrate this, but you don't have to follow one of those specific types of seasonal spirituality if you want to connect with the Wheel of the Year on a spiritual level and on a personal growth level. Anybody can walk with the Wheel of the Year. Anybody can step into flow, because we are natural beings and part of this world that we live in. If you want to find out more about it, have a look through my YouTube channel. I've done videos on each of the different seasons of the different festivals on the Wheel of the Year, or you can have a look at my book, Walking the Wheel of the Year. And if this really seems like something that you would like to do, and you would like to align yourself with nature and create your own spiritual path, then come and join me on my online Walking the Wheel of the Year course. In that course, I give you absolutely everything that I've learned throughout the years of walking with the Wheel of the Year. And I'm very clear on I don't like to give dogma. So in this course, you get lots of different tools, lots of information, and lots of things to try out so that you can find the right way of connecting with nature for you. I believe there is nothing more important in life than really getting a strong root. And what better root than to connect with our Mother Earth and the Earth's energies. I hope you like this video. I hope you found something interesting in it. And if you have questions, please put them in the channel, put them in the comments, because I do come back and answer each and every single one. I'll put a link down here for the Walking the Wheel of the Year online course. Come and join me and hundreds, thousands actually, other people walking the Wheel of the Year around the world, and we can connect with nature and this amazing planet that we live on. Take care of yourselves, and until I see you again, enjoy your journey.